Hello guys, today I wanted to record a short video describing a bit what I have already written about, but I wanted to show you real quick when it comes to building your mix and how to maintain a headroom for Premaster exports. The way I do it, and it seemed to be a topic of some controversy. But what I do is I add 6 dB to the master channel when I start my project. And then for the remainder of my production session, I aim for 0 dB on the master. And then when I am finished, or actually before that, when I'm like halfway into the mixing session or whenever it starts to feel right, I will perhaps talk a bit about it soon. I lower it back down to 0 because then I have the foundation of my track. For instance, when I have my kick drum, my bass, and my primary instrumentation, and I feel that the levels are balanced, I lower it down to 0, and then I add compression on the master bus and start mixing into the compressor a bit, or even a limiter, depends a bit. Yeah, I will show you now briefly how it's done and the simplicity of it. So in this project here, let's see, I have just a simple drum machine here, the 909 by D16, which I bought on Black Friday. So I have the kick drum here. You see here, I put my master bus on +6. I have nothing on the master bus, the limiter is turned off. So what I do, I think I wrote about it in my post that I try to have the kick drum at -10. -8 can also work. I mean, it's in a digital environment, it doesn't really hurt to have a bit extra headroom, because one of the reasons with analog gear that you want a certain headroom, for instance, like 12 or -10 or something like that, there are, well, I think two primary reasons. One of them being that -12 can be a good amplitude for some analog gear to be fed, and the other and the most common reason is because you want to have a noise floor, nice noise signal to noise ratio, because in analog gear with microphones and in hardware you have noise, so you want to record as loud as possible for the noise to be how do you say, low compared to the signal. But in a digital environment we don't have that issue, yeah. So here, for instance, if I start with a kick drum, let's see, it's on C1, I think. So you see here, right, I have a bass here. So you see here the kick is at -8, which is fine, and you see here -8.18 +6, so I have 2 decibels of headroom. And a good thing to know about decibels is that 3 decibels, it's mathematically twice the loudness. And I think it's something like 10 decibels that we perceive as the double, but it's not really. And you will notice that soon, because now you see we have only 2 decibels of headroom after the kick drum, and kick drum is the one that really eats the most of the space here. So let's see here, we have the kick drum, it's 2.14, and then we add some sort of bass line. I just added some random shit just to for the video. So you see we have this bass sound with a slight side chain. It's pretty balanced with the kick drum in terms of level. And you see we only increased the volume by 0.2 basically. And within those last 2 decibels, we can basically fit all of the sounds that we need. if we need more space, we can do here. Here I see I have a drum bus. Well, I have the compressor here. It doesn't really have anything to do with this. So I leave it off just for the clarity. But what we can do if we need a bit of extra headroom, we can just do this. And all of a sudden we have 3, which is a lot. I mean, in terms of Atmos and all of that, we can fit a lot. And it's nice to build the drum bus in this way also, because then you can set the primary level of these really heavy heavy elements. And if you need extra headroom, you can just turn down the volume of all of them and maintain the balance between them, because that's very important when you are working on the mix. And then once you have your balance right, maybe you add your lead, you add your Atmos, you add your cymbals and all of the sounds that you want, and you have a really nice loop, and you feel like, well, this is the idea of the track is basically here. Now I want to take it to the next level, or maybe you want to export it to share it with a friend, like upload a snippet on SoundCloud and share it on Discord with the other people in the community. All you do is here, you see, you put it to 0, and you see here now I have a 10 decibel headroom, and it's also perfect for when you want to send it for a mix down. I mean for mastering. And then you can just, do whatever you want, add limiting. And then what I do, usually at this point, when I reached this far, when I continue to work, when I open it up again to continue on the project, often I check here. I see here that I have a bit of gain reduction, maybe just a bit, and I work from here for the rest of the track. And yeah, I think that's a good method for building your mix, and it's a pretty nice system to build something that's balanced. It's very simple. Everything starts with the kick drum, basically. In terms of mixing, one thing when we in mixing in general, mixing engineers tend to start with the most important part of the track. So for instance, with pop music, some start with the vocal because it's the most important part, or they start with the kick, or they start with the snare drum. Some other genres, maybe dub music, they might start with the bass line, and then they add the kick drum later. So you have to decide basically. Most often it's the kick drum. And if you sculpt your kick drum to sound the way you want, and you put it at a level which give you 3 decibels of extra headroom here, if you put it up for 6 just to have the overall level, and then you leave another 3, so basically leaving the drum bus with a 9 decibels, 6 plus 3, so about 9 decibels of headroom from your kick. Then you build your mix in balance with the kick drum, and you should have enough headroom for the rest of the track. Maybe I made it a bit confusing now, but it's very simple. You leave the kick drum at -8 or -10 or somewhere between, and then you build your track from that, balanced after this point, and you should have a balanced mix. So I will make more videos later on how to actually make the kick drums and how to equalize them, how to compress it, and work on the bass also. It's a very highly requested topic. Yeah, so enjoy and good luck.